Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Do the Work. Here we're gonna solve the third question of the math proficiency test for Ontario teachers. I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel so you have access to all the other videos. And here the first step to adding these numbers is to know the theory behind adding decimals. The theory is simply to align the comma or the dot in English, and you can access these videos by clicking on any of the link. I put them in order, so if you want to review all of them, you can go through them in order. And firstly, if we write those one on top of the other while placing the decimal, aligning the decimal, you have 1.5 and 2.05 and then 4.5 again. And note that 5 is really 5.00 and that 1.5 is the same thing as 1.0. So maybe I'll add those in another color. So it would be 5.00 and then 1.50. And then when we add these guys, we just go down each column. So we do 5 plus 0 is 5, plus 5 plus 5, that's 15, right? 5 plus 5 plus 5. So notice that I lied here. The last number is 0, right? Because it's 4.50. And if we do the columns, it would look something like this and like this. These are the units, these are the tenths, and these are the hundredths. So if we go down, we have 5 and 5, that's 10. So 10 is 0. And we need to put the 10, well, we have 1/10. So we have 1, and then we go down this column, we have 1, 5, 5, so that's 11. So we have 11 tenths, so 11 times 0.1. That's the same thing as 11 times 1/10, essentially, right? And if we multiply fraction, we get 11 over 10, which is just 1.1. So we have 1 unit and 1/10. So 1 unit, so we carry the 1, because 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1, that's 11. So we write 1, and then we carry the 1, and now we add all the units. So 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13, I think. And then plus 1, 14, 16, 20. So 20 is 0, and then we have the tens, right? So the next column is the tens. And so now we need to carry the 2, because we have 20. So we have 2 tens, so that's 20.1. And that would be answer number D. So note that we can build some intuition to confirm our answer, check our answer, and kind of understand the question at a deeper level. So if we convert all of them to fraction, we have 7.05 is really 7 and plus 0.05, right? And then we have 5, which is just 5 plus 0. And then we have 1.5, which is 1 plus 0.5. Then 2.05 is simply 2 plus 0.5, and then 4 is equal to 4 plus 0.5. And then this one is 0.5. Sorry. And then we can notice that 0.5 is 5%, or we could rewrite it as 7 and 1/20. If you divide 1 by 20, you'll get 0.05 or 5%. And you can think about it this way. 1 over 20, if you do times 5 on top and times 5 on the bottom, you're going to get 5 over 100, which is 0.05, which is 5%. So really we get 7 and 1/20, and then this if we put it over 20, 5 in 20th, we would do times 20 times 20, so we get 100 over 20. And then this is 1 plus 0.5, so that's 1 and 1/2, right? So that's 1 and 1/2. And this is 2 and 1/20. and then this is 4 1/2. So if I want to put them all over the same fraction, I would do 7 times 20, which is 140 plus 1, so that's 141 over 20, plus 100 over 20, plus if I put this in the same fraction, it would be 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, so that's 3 over 2, and then that's 41 over 20, and then that is 9 over 2. Note that 9 over 2, if you divide 9 by 2, it's still 4.5, so it makes sense. So now what I'm trying to do is add all these numbers. So I have, let's say I add them up, I have 141 over 20, plus 100 over 20, plus, let's say I put this over 20, so I need to do times 10 times 10, so times 10 over 10, so that would be 30 over 20, then plus 41 over 20, plus, again, I need to do over 20, so times 10 times 10. I'm allowed to do 10 over 10 because that's multiplied by 1, and we're allowed to multiply by 1. So we would have times 90 over 20, and what we do here is we add all the numerators. That's how we add fractions. Now, if I just add all the fractions at the bottom, I would get, adding the denominators, I would get 141 plus 100 plus 30 plus 41 plus 90. If I go down the units, I get 2. If I go down the tens, I get 7, 11, 20. So I carry the 2. 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1 is 4. So I get 402 over 20. And I can rewrite this as 400 over 20 plus 2 over 20. And 400 over 20, you can divide 40 by 2. That's the same thing. So it would be 20 plus 1/10, or 20.1, which is the same as this final answer, 20.1 and 20.1.